Alright, Jeff Thompson here, Izzy Davis. We're down out of Wallace. We went up 9 Mile drainage and came up to just shy of Goose Peak. Goose Peak's just right up the ridge here. We're on a west facing slope at about 6,100 feet. Sort of pillowed in here, you can kind of see a cornice up above us. Very different than what we saw on the way up. You know, pretty wet snow, kind of punching through to our waist down low. Saw roller balls and sign of a warm snowpack down low. As we've moved up, it's continued to get drier. Still a pretty cold, dry snowpack relatively for this time of year, but you can see behind me here we've dug down. We left this layer exposed because this is probably the chief complaint in our snowpack, and we were finding this over on the south side as well. Sort of a low frequency, high consequence situation. We're not finding any layer that's overly reactive or overly, propagation propensity. We're not seeing any signs of propagation right now, even though there is sort of a wind slab or a slab here above it. But if you look at this snow here that it's sliding on, a whole bunch of facets and a whole bunch of grapple from the 19th, from 119, still pretty well intact. And we're finding that is the most likely spot for an avalanche to happen. So you can imagine if you're out sledding and you really goose it and you get your track down to affect this layer, there is a chance that this layer could trigger an avalanche. We also found instabilities on these layers that are near the surface, a little bit softer, less consequence here, of course, because it's a lot less snow. But this is the layer that we're really kind of keeping an eye on. We're going to forecast tomorrow 7 a.m. It's hard to say exactly what we're going to boil it down to. I do think that the snowpack is trending in the right direction, but with that said, we do have a temperature regime that's kind of all over the board, and we also have new snow that's moving in kind of as we're speaking. And so that new snow may add to the problem. We're going to have to put a hard eye on what the weather does overnight before we come up with the forecast. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.